What's going on, everybody? What is going on? It is Wednesday, December 20th, 2023, and we are here to do a very interesting stream. Now, I have done the stream on that Triple P on Rudy Giuliani a couple days ago. I did the review for the last episode of the Murder in Boston documentary that aired on Max. I did a collaboration stream on the Mo.J channel about Jonathan Majors. And of course, I have my upcoming weekly stream coming up on Friday. However, this stream right here is the one that I've been anticipating the most for the last couple of days. Like, this is the one that I was looking forward to the most out of all the streams that I have done so far this week. And when we get through it, you'll see exactly why I say that and why I feel the way that I feel as it pertains to that. But today I'm gonna be multi-streaming, meaning I'm not just streaming just on YouTube. I have this showing on my X account or Twitter, and also on Instagram, because Instagram now you can stream on Instagram through StreamYard. So now I'm streaming in 3 different locations. So some people that's going to probably be watching me on Instagram, and there's probably going to be some people watching me on X. Shout out to everybody on those particular platforms if you were not in the YouTube chat right now. But let's go ahead and acknowledge the people who are here so far. We have Grape Shot, CW 5001, Padina Evans, Loki, Michelle Jones, DeMarcus, Chief X Ali, Wallow J, Catsy, John Guillory, Bot Boy, Versus, Denise Scales, Lana L, Albert Nelson, Tater Man, Showstopper, Yatunde, Bobby Wright, D Foster, Haha False Flag, Star Child, Roku Muro, Miss Renee, Essential B1 Soul, Joseph Washington, Deneen Grant, Noble Valkyrie, Raw Box, so look at this one, right? So we have our first troll. This one says, you childishly pick some of the most lame and meaningless stories to cover, yet here you are in my chat right now, prepared to watch, or you just came to leave that comment. Mods, handle that for me. It says Coop Long 2, Tamara McIntyre, Lady Messenger, Cosima Fury, Melanin 100%, Kendall, J Cage. Oh God, look who decided to show up. Roberto Suarez, the neighborhood New Black Media trollster. This man goes and trolls everybody in the New Black Media. Me, Kid Gravity, Afro Elite, every now and then Blacklight Revelations. And here he decided to make his presence be known. This is how I know I'm doing the right thing today, because the trolls are going to be plentiful when it comes to this, because apparently I'm going to strike a nerve. I already know it. This one says fake news. No one wants to have black people's hair. Okay, if he says so, but we can get him up out of here too. Let's see. We have Patricia Jenkins, Antoine Ball, and shout out to Jerry Bedford for the $50 super chat. Good morning, well, good afternoon, because it's after 12 where I'm at. But shout out to you for the $50 super chat. I greatly appreciate it. We have Dead Serious, Naya B, Gwendolyn, and KC. We have 149 people in here so far. This is going to be a very, very interesting stream. Again, shout out to everybody who is watching on the other platforms as well. And also, if you're on Instagram, it's some kind of error that's going on right now, because it says that it's some kind of thing where you're only going to be able to listen for an hour before it cuts out, instead of listening to the whole stream. Hopefully I can get through everything I need to get through before I drop the link and let people come up within this hour. If not, y'all can just come right on over to YouTube and y'all can finish out the rest of the stream over here. Naya B, it's interesting that you typed that comment. I'm just going to leave it right there. I'm just going to leave the comment you made right there. Just keep that in mind as we go forward with this stream. And shout out to Kid Gravity. And Kid Gravity, shout out to you for doing that show that you did on on Bousse. You know who I'm talking about. You know, I like to come up with nicknames for people, especially the people that are extremely off code. Let's see. Robin said B1 from Toronto. Shout out to my people, to the people that's watching me from other establishments. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to Toronto. Noble Valkyrie, keep a pin in the comment y'all made. I feel like y'all, It's almost like y'all know exactly kind of where I'm headed with this stream today. But I'm not gonna get ahead of myself because I don't want to spoil anything. But let me go ahead now and get into this. So this video that I'm going to show y'all right now, coming from, hold on, let me share my screen right quick. Hold on, almost forgot to do that. This video that I'm gonna play from you right here, that's coming from Fox 26 Houston, this is what actually prompted this entire stream. But there were some other things that I came across that I said I have to add in here. Otherwise, this stream will be very short. So be prepared to see some things up in here. Not nothing crazy, but I came across this video or someone sent it to me on Twitter the other day. And it says Afro textured hairstyles grow in popularity within the Asian community. And this was posted 5 days ago. And as y'all know, that's what's his name? I forget this anchor's name, but y'all know who it is. I'm gonna go ahead now and I'm gonna play the video, enlarge it so y'all can see it.
Your hair.
We'll go from there.
As an art, you may want to reconsider that. There's so much that can be done with it, even molding bone straight hair to mimic Afro textured hair. It's become popular within the Asian community. Take a look at that. When I first saw it, I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Companies like Hippie Buddha use different techniques to create the illusion of curls, coils, and even locks. Joining us to talk about it, Eva Go, Francesca Jones, who has Asian and Black ancestry, and hairstylist CC Mason. Glad to have you all here on the CC. When you saw that hair, what went through your mind, CC?
I had mixed emotions.
Because you can go either way.
Yes. So from mixed emotions, as a hairstylist, you always want to learn the new trends because that's money for you.
Mm-hmm.
But as a Black woman, you think about like, okay, well, they talked about our hair being nappy for so many years, or the kinkiness and the coily textures that we have, and then now all of a sudden it's in. They're not just doing the texture to it; they're also adding the dreadlocks to it, the extensions, and they're. I saw a few videos that actually, as soon as they finish getting their hair done, then they put the baggy clothes on and do the posing.
Now, hear what she just said. See what she just said there? And she's a hairstylist. She says, you know, they do stuff to their hair, manipulate their hair. And I'm actually show you a video after this is over where I found a short on YouTube where it shows you where they manipulate their hair to get this texture. Remember, this is not their texture, but they do some manipulation to it to get that texture. This is not how their hair actually grows at all. But she says when they go and put this hair, like when they manipulate their hair like that, they said she's basically saying it's not enough for them just to have the hair. Now we have to go and put on the whole costume. Now we have to put on the whole costume of looking like how Black people look. And notice she said baggy clothes. When's the last time Black people wore baggy clothes as a collective? You're talking like the early 2000s and further back, like the 90s. Baggy clothes, there are some people that still kind of wear it, but it's not popular. It's not trendy like it used to be. So it's like they're stuck, or they're behind the curve, I should say.
And stuff like that. But as a hairstylist, you want to catch every trend. You want to learn, take these new classes, because once you have your license, there are also all kind of classes to learn the new styles that are out. So you want to stay on topic. You want to stay hot because you want to always be the go-to person. Because if not, you'll lose clientele, and you want to always keep clientele for all avenues.
Got it. So, Francesca, you're in the middle. Your thoughts about this? You're in the middle, Black and Asian.
Yes.
So, your thoughts?
It's been an interesting kind of connection for me because as a child, my mother did her best. But before the advent of Google and YouTube University, my Chinese mother did the best she could with my mixed hair.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll never forget. She used Ampro edge cream throughout my whole head and just didn't really know what to do with it. So it's interesting seeing how culture has completely embraced curls and coils and the beautifulness that is Black hair, mixed hair. And it's an interesting place to be, the intersectionality between what our hair is today. So
And
it's
you
great.
don't have any reservations like Cece does, seeing, you know, in the past and currently now, you know, black wasn't so beautiful.
Absolutely.
The black hair especially wasn't so beautiful to others around the world and right here in this country. But now they're embracing it almost.
Embracing, I'm not entirely sure. Trying to profit off of, definitely. Because think about it. If y'all remember, who remembers when it was a picture of Rihanna when she had Bantu knots in her head? It was a picture, it was years ago. This is back when Rihanna was still making music. Rihanna had Bantu knots in her hair, and people were calling it ghetto. But then years later, Marc Jacobs put his interpretation of what Bantu knots are inside of a PC woman's head, but don't even call them Bantu knots. They would call something else. It was some stupid name, and it was embraced. But black people clapped back at that immediately, and we ain't see them that whatever he called it ever since. I forgot what he called mini buns. That's what it was called, mini buns. He called it mini buns. So pay attention when black people have, you know, wear locks or cornrows or braids or anything like that. It's seen as ghetto. I've done stories on my channel where kids, little kids, have gotten kicked out of school because of their natural hair. One boy had a part in his head, and they tried to say that they thought he was gang affiliated. The boy was like 6. One girl got kicked out of her class because they felt her hair was distracting. Another woman, she was going for a job. She had her hair like probably in a very, like they in their eyes, a presentable manner. But on the last day when she decided to wear her natural hair, which was still neat, she didn't get the job. Even after all of that training, one woman in Canada, speaking of Canada, had braids in her hair. She had like those poetic justice style braids, those dookie braids. They were real neat, well done, looked like she just got them done. She ended up getting fired from her job because they were deemed not professional. How many times have we done this? They even had to come out with a whole law called the Crown Act to give protection, quote unquote, to black people with their hair. But that really has been falling through the cracks for some people because there was these stories coming out of Texas where these boys who have locks were getting detention. They were getting suspended. Some of them couldn't graduate because of their hair. But now you have all these other groups that can come in and wear these styles, and we're not supposed to say a peep about it. We're just supposed to just let it slide. Nope. This is why I'm doing this stream right now. Because who's going to check them?
Mimicking, you
Yes.
know, so your thoughts on that?
It's walking a fine line being a biracial woman. Because on the one hand, I'm like, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, but I'm almost like, get your own style. But at the same time, it's putting us in the forefront, showing that black is beautiful. Our hair is beautiful, but it's a fine line that we have to walk. So,
and that's, I see what she's saying, because she's coming at it from both angles because she's a mixed woman. She's mixed. She's part Asian. She's part black. But at the same time, we're the real McCoy. We're the real thing. If they don't want to put us out into the forefront with this, then don't put it out there at all. Don't put it on somebody else because they look more inviting or more enticing. That's how I say it. Exactly, Chief. We are the original. Like I always tell people, we are the trendsetters of the world. Like I'm telling y'all, this is only the beginning. This stream is probably going to go over past an hour. I'm telling y'all that right now. So y'all better lock in. This is only the first video.
I kind of tread, if I can, the fine line in between the same. So I agree with Cece, but at the same time, I kind of embrace both sides of my culture that make me a whole person. So it's a little bit of, I'm going to try to walk that line if I can.
I understand. Eva, wait, Eva, we love Eva. Eva's on here all the time. Do we have that picture of Eva?
Don't show my mama.
Let's show the picture of Eva. It's on the monitor. Lord, Father, Jesus in heaven. Eva, what was going through your mind?
Well, back in the day, and I'm from Texas, hair is big, and I loved big hair. I paid tons of money over the years to have a spiral perm. I think whenever you have straight hair, you want curl.
Now listen to what she just said. She said she spent tons of money to have a spiral perm, a natural hairstyle that naturally grows out of a black person's hair, whether it's a man or a woman. We just wake up and it's like that. She said she spent tons of money to get that look. I'm just saying.
Hair and vice versa. So I've always been a fan of.
But yours wasn't so much about black afro hair. It was just having curly hair. You didn't want the straight hair.
Right. I just wanted the variety. I think it's beautiful. And I wore it for decades. I don't want to tell my age, but yeah, for decades. After a while, all the chemicals and stuff started to damage my hair, and I thought I'm going to go natural, and it's beautiful. This is the way I was born. But I love it both ways. Whenever you can curl it and keep it straight at the same time. It's just a matter of style. When
you see what they're doing in China, your thoughts on that, because that's far beyond what you ever did. And it wasn't what your line of thinking. They have a different line of thinking there.
I think it's okay. It's just a matter of style. And it's, I think, a nod to the beauty of African-American hair. I think we go through different trends where we want to have hair in different ways. I don't see anything wrong with it. I think it's beautiful. It's a great expression.
All right. We want to thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the end of that. All right, so that is the end of that particular. Let me see if I can get this thing. Okay, we got a $4.99 super chat. CK Mystic says, Earth would be pretty lame without us. They are just too prideful to admit it. Right. Like I told you, we are the trendsetters of the world. We are the seasoning to this rather bland society. I've been saying that from the get-go. So that was that video right there. So what I'm about to show y'all in this next video, it's a short video, and I have to turn the sound off, is of this Asian man. Let me actually refresh the page right quick. Wait. Of this Asian man right here who literally took his hair from this straight texture, and they manipulated it into an afro. So I'm gonna let it play in a loop because it's only like 15 seconds, but just pay attention to this. This is some crazy stuff right here. Y'all see that, right? And he was one of the pictures that they showed in the previous video. He came in, his hair was straight. They manipulated it, and he walked out with an afro. But what's crazier, though, is that when I was looking in the comment section, it was unfortunately, and I do mean unfortunately, a lot of black people that were in there finding the flattery in this, and was like, see, I knew they loved our hair. People love our hair. Okay, it's nice to love their hair, but you know, they have hair of their own. And that's the part right there that leads to what I'm going to show you in the next video, which is this part right here. And again, I cannot show y'all, well, I can't play the audio because it is copyrighted music, but I want y'all to look at this right here. Now, this is an Asian man right here who's doing something called juking. Now, to my knowledge, juking is something that's very popular in Memphis that was started with black people. Now, he's doing this, I'm guessing that's what it's supposed to be. And he's doing it in a crowd full of Asians watching this right here. I want to believe that he is probably most likely not in America and most definitely not in Memphis. So understand, it starts off as you seeing it as flattery, but then once you give them the compliment, they'll take the compliment as saying, oh, this is going to be our way of getting in. So let's go ahead and move even further into the culture, because they've already said that they like it, you know, the hair texture. They love what we did with it, you know, because it looks like theirs. But let's see if we can take it a step further into their culture, and let's move it into the dance. Hence how you ended up getting stuff like K-pop. I remember seeing a video years ago, back in like 07 when I graduated high school, where it was some Japanese girls or whatever, and they were idolizing a lot of the hip hop culture in America, and they were doing everything from getting the braids, like, you know, the braids like the black women. They were wearing their makeup like it, like they were putting on darker makeup, like to make them look more browner, getting the nails, trying to talk like them. This was back in 2007. So understand, y'all, this is nothing new. Understand that this is nothing new what you're seeing or hearing. It's just that some people are just getting aware of it. I'm gonna pause it right here because this guy doesn't even look like he's dancing at this point. He looks like he's having a damn seizure. So again, we started off with the hair, and now moves on to the dancing. But what if I told you it could go a step further into how they want to talk? So we're going to share this. Now, some of you may or may have not seen this video right here that I'm about to show you, but it's a video that has gone super viral on social media of this Asian woman who claims that she, you know, is from the South and she's trying to speak with a Southern dialect. And she's going to give you an example of her saying certain words and how it sounds when she says it. Now, I want y'all to listen to this.
So I'm gonna pick some words from my previous video. And first word is axe. Identities, old, February, scrubbery, screech, shrimp, scared. It's an easy one. Thank, rule, and a bonus round. Earn, and earn.
What? What is this?
So I'm gonna pick some words from my previous video. And first word is axe. Identities, old, February, scrubbery, screech, shrimp, scared. It's an easy one. Thank, rule, and a bonus round. Earn, and earn.
I don't know about y'all, but I, as a black man, have never said any of those words like that. It sounds so forced. Like, I just know that is not how she talks. I do not believe that is how she talks. And what's so sad is that you had a lot, and we putting it all out there. What is so sad is that you had a lot of black men literally caping for her, saying how attractive, not only how attractive she looks, but how attractive she sounded. But if this was coming out of the mouth of a black woman, they'll be saying how ratchet she is. I just talked about this yesterday in the video I did yesterday about the spicy Latina, the one who injected rabies into her boyfriend's eyes because he allegedly was looking at other women. I said, that's the spiciness that you want. Now, pay attention to this. Now, this is another video of her right here running. Now, she's she's doing a voiceover in this. Now, keep in mind how she sounded in the previous video and listen to how she sounds in this voiceover.
I decided to go on my little run, and this is the beginning. You're probably wondering how I ended up here. Let me tell you something. Chick-fil-A actually ran into me. This is me after finishing my meal and running back. Moral of the story, don't ever go on a run with Trey.
That's her. Now, y'all tell me, why doesn't she sound like that? Like how she sounded in the previous video? This is the same person. In this one, I believe she's probably using her actual voice. But in that previous one, she's perpetrating a fraud, and you got people hyping her up because she, quote unquote, looks good. That what you just heard in that voiceover is definitely most likely her real voice, not what she was putting out there in that previous video that went viral. Exactly. Who's this? Blip. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. It's the same person, but they sound like two different people. But they are definitely the same person. I think I definitely know what she's doing. She out there she going on that Mandingo hunt, and a lot of them are running right up in line to try to be the one. But it doesn't stop there, y'all, because there's more, but not with her, with somebody else. So let me go ahead and share this tab. Here's another person who on TikTok goes by the name Lulu the Doll. This is somebody different. Listen to this.
Y'all, I used to swear I was never gonna fuck with nobody, baby daddy. I was never gonna fuck with nobody with no kids, y'all. I got me somebody, baby daddy. And I love it here, B.
Oh my God.
Y'all, I used to swear I was never gonna fuck with nobody, baby daddy. I was never gonna fuck with nobody with no kids, y'all. I got me somebody, baby daddy. And I love it here, B.
You want to know what's so interesting? They're mimicking the part that they feel is easiest to mimic. That's what it is. They're mimicking the easiest part that they think is easy to mimic. Crazy. Now, one other thing I have to show y'all, and I'm throwing this in there, and it's interesting that where we started at with this to where it's about to lead up to now. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all have heard me talk about this woman named Diane Yap. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of 1s in here. I'm seeing a lot of 1s. That's fine. If you didn't hear me talk about it, you're about to hear about me talk about her right now. So look at what Diane Yap put up on her Twitter X account, whatever you want to call it, a few days ago. And it was in response to this person right here who goes by the name of FBA_ Nathaniel. They said rap and hip hop is a very small piece of Black American culture. We built the most powerful nation in the world while under the heel of systemic white supremacy, and we don't flee our homeland like everyone else does. You can never speak on Black American culture. They wrote this on December 15th, 2023. Diane wrote back, we built the most powerful nation in the world, to quote the person, and says, please, your ancestors were farm equipment. I want you to understand she just called our ancestors, our foundational Black American ancestors who were enslaved for over 400 years, farm equipment. She goes on to say, if you were capable of building anything by yourselves without direction from whites, explain Liberia. That's what she said. Now, a lot of people thought or think that Diane Yap is fake or she's not a real person. Oh, trust and believe me, she most definitely is a real person. And I'm about to prove it to y'all right now. I mean, for those of y'all who watched the live stream, y'all are well aware of who she is because I talked about her a couple weeks ago. But I found out something very interesting about Diane after she made this post. This was like days later. And it's this part right here. I'm going to read to you what I have highlighted in the yellow. Another minority prop is Diane Yap. Colin writes, Friends of Lowell Foundation leader Diane Yap is a quote-unquote policy analyst for the Manhattan Institute, a billionaire-backed right-wing think tank in New York City. This same organization also employs Christopher Rufo as their senior fellow. Now, for those of you who watch Professor Black Truth and Rob over at Blacklight Revelations, know that they have mentioned the name Christopher Rufo and the Manhattan Institute a lot. The Manhattan Institute is very, very anti-Black. It's like right up there with PragerU for me. So when I found this out, I said, now it all makes sense. Now it has become full circle for me. Exactly, Kid Gravity. You found it out last week because I had posted it up in the Discord. So whenever you hear Professor Black Truth or Rob at Blacklight Revelations talk about the Manhattan Institute, know that Diane is a part of that. And they gave her the right title of a minority prop because that's pretty much what she is. You know, that's their she's their diversity hire. But yeah, she be spewing a whole bunch of anti-Black stuff. But I finally ended up blocking her. It was that post right there that like made me do it. I was like, okay, that's it. But I'm gonna screenshot this just in case, you know, by the time I get to this stream today, that it's gone. But it wasn't. So I was able to retrieve it and show y'all that. But yeah, she called our ancestors farm equipment. Remember, this is the same woman that lied and said she got attacked by some Black man or some homeless man out there. No one was believing her crap. But when I find out she's a part of the Manhattan Institute, it all came together for me. But I know some of y'all are going to have something to say about this. So I'm going to put the link right down there in the chat. I'm going to pin it to the top of the chat. And y'all can come on up and say what you got to say. Because I can't wait to hear what y'all have to say about this. I have 411 people in here watching over the span of 3 platforms. Shout out to y'all. And Wallow J done made his way up here.
You damn right, because this shit getting out of control, man. How you doing?
I'm good.
Man, do they want to be Black or do they want to be white?
I don't know. They're stuck. They are stuck somewhere.
They stuck somewhere because the dancing stuff, that don't really surprise nobody. Cause they always been doing the dance moves since what, the 2000s and stuff like that. And have you ever heard of K-drill?
No, that's something that else. I mean, I know about the K-pop, but what listen. If that's supposed to be a Korean version of drill rap, I don't want to hear it.
Torian, I swear to you not. You can type that in, and everybody in the chat can type that in. It's type in K-drill or K-drill music. A CNN article will pop up about it because they did an article about a year ago. Like seriously, and not just that, it's they got the girls up there twerking and all this other stuff, and it's like I was like, I thought our music was trash, but okay.
K-drill, I'm stuck. Like I don't know. Like,
I'm being dead serious.
That's very new to me. Like no, I'll take your word for it, but I don't.
You can look at it. You can look at it right now. I'm telling y'all.
I listen. I value my eyes and my ears of what I listen to and what I see, and I don't want to listen or see that.
Man, it's like I won't be surprised they copy waves in it because I got waves in my hair. That's what they're gonna try to
Oh,
copy that
trust
next.
me. They probably already listen. If they've already done the locks or the fake locks on the afro and the cornrows, you already know waves is nothing because that's just a low cut. You know, the other one involves having hair or adding hair.
It takes time to get waves. That's what people don't understand. I had to redo mine just to get it. Well, I actually do have a part in my top of my head, but I don't care. But I ain't gonna redo it again. I already redid it twice. I ain't doing that again. But it's a process. It's like almost a year process to get it right.
Wow.
To get them deep in, like you really want to. But they don't surprise me, man. They just don't surprise me. But I'm gonna get off and somebody else get up here. Everybody be safe. Be one, Torian.
Be one of you. All right, we got another person coming up. Chris Q, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing good.
I'm tired of these bad eaters, man.
Oh, damn.
I mean, it's the truth. We need to call them out every time, you know? They're taking everything from us. First, they get a bill. Now they're taking our hair.
It's funny, and I'm glad you mentioned that too, because how they got a bill before us. And I told people when they got that bill, and I stand firmly on me saying this. I said the minute they get that bill, they are going to show their ass. And that is exactly what they have done ever since then. And look at some of the lies they had to put out there to get the bill. You had like Juju Chang and all the rest of them on there saying that they were being attacked by black people. And then all of a sudden, a couple weeks later, boom, they get a bill, an anti-Asian hate crime bill. And then that's when I said, you know what? I'm going to start looking up and see if there's any stories where, one, they're committing crimes against each other, and two, if people are committing crimes against them that are not Asian. And you'll be amazed with how many stories pop up like that. Like, for instance, remember what happened at the beginning of this year out there in Monterey Park, where you had that Asian man go on that mass shooting, and he was in Monterey Park, and he deleted all those Asian people, because Monterey Park is literally majority Asian. I've been to Monterey Park.
And notice how they're just picking it's like everybody is just taking from our culture now. Everything. And they're claiming it for themselves. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's why I said that's why when I was showing the stuff in order, I started off, I said it starts with hair. Like, that's, you know, because it starts with the more simple things, and then it starts to maneuver and transition into other things, and then before you know it, it's like, damn, it's like they're trying to be a clone.
Yeah, we invented this now. Oh no, you black people didn't invent
and that's where and that's the end goal, to say that we invented it. That's how it always plays out.
At the end of the day, we're just going to be in a box. We didn't invent nothing, do nothing significant to life. I mean, this is ridiculous. You know, I really can't stand that community. I never could. I don't even like their women. It is just disgusting, you know? And black, what pisses me off too is black people still go to their buffets and stuff, man. Come on.
Yeah.
You know,
that's why I said, and also too, not only that, but you notice that I wish I had it to show, but I had saw even somewhere where where some of them have quote unquote soul food spots. I'm like, when did I'm like, who taught you to make soul food? And first off, I don't even know if I want to taste that, because we know what soul food is. We know what it tastes like. And it's crazy because they keep telling us how bad soul food is for us to eat. You know, at least all these heart problems, high blood pressure, diabetes, and all of that stuff. But now they come in and now they got soul food spots and nobody calls it out. And I'm like, do you know how much MSG is in them noodles?
Yep. And I noticed this too. When it's their food, notice they're always next to a pet hospital.
Oh,
it's true. I noticed this. Like, I live in San Diego here.
Okay.
All there's a few spots around here. If you just look at like those faux restaurants or any of those Asian restaurants, a good majority of them out here, up to LA, are next to veterinary hospitals. You know, so yeah.
It's interesting you said that, because I remember when I was in college, in my freshman year, we used to see all these little stray cats running around, like whether it was outside of the campus. Sometimes we saw some running in the campus, and across the street from our campus was two Chinese spots. One was called China Kitchen, and across the street from it was called China Walk. Now, keep in mind, freshman year, we used to always see these stray cats running around. Came back our sophomore year, when the campus is closed from like May all the way to August. Came back, didn't see not one stray cat. Yep. And I said, wait a minute, hold on. I literally looked right across the street and I was like, I wonder. That was literally my thought process.
Is there a correlation between the rats in New York, how big they are, and that community? And really all across the nation as well. I mean, they bring along a lot more diseases and these animals, and they're catching pigeons as well. That's just a history that I remember they had, But thank you.
No problem. All right, before I bring the next person up, let me go ahead and acknowledge the fundraiser $2 super chat. They said soul food, not soul food. Right. Seoul as in Seoul, Korea, not soul food as And we got our next person up, Joseph Washington. What's going on? What you guys say on this?
Hello, Tarian. Hello, chat room. I hope everyone is having a good Wednesday. When I saw the notification for this video, I had to jump in. I tried to come up here first, but I was having brunch.
Okay.
But yeah, just a reminder to everyone, the Olympics is next year. Hip hop has celebrated its 50th birthday. It'll be 51 around the time the Summer Olympics happens, and breaking is coming in.
I saw that. Yeah, breaking is officially an event in the Olympics.
How much do you want to wager that most of these crews will be Asian?
I'm curious to know how many black people are going to be in it. I bet you they're going to make that thing so mixed, but they probably going to have that one black person that's there.
That's not a mix to me. That's just a quota.
That's exactly. Yeah, that's why I said that's the diversity entry right there.
Yeah, and I saw this video by on Nikki the Gods on Instagram, actually on her Twitter feed, about these Asians at a college stepping. Like literally stomp. I'm looking at this as like, are they trying to stomp the yard for real?
You said Asians?
Asians stepping, yes.
Oh, you know what? I think I may know. Was it guys or was it women?
Guys.
I think I know what video you're talking about. I saw that video, and man, now if I had known back then I was going to make this stream today, I would have saved it because I had it in my bookmarks, and they would look like in a fraternity. They were in a fraternity.
Yep, they were in a frat.
They were in a frat, and it was only one black person on that line who actually had some rhythm. All the others around him were Asian, and they looked so stiff, which lets me know he was the one that probably taught them the steps, and they still didn't know how to do it. But his steps and moves were so flawless, but theirs was like they looked like they just practiced or learned these steps like maybe the day before, and they didn't grasp the whole thing. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know something else too. After after seeing that this video was going to come up, and being on Instagram, following our Black American dancers, who were still doing their stuff online, I'm gonna need for them to stop going to Asia for a while, because it seems like whenever they go over and do their thing, really for the money, which I understand, everyone needs to, make ends meet. But it's like whenever I see them like go over there and like teach these folks, our stuff, it gets blown up not only all over Asia, but on the mainstream stuff over here as well, as if they came up with it.
Like for instance, on YouTube, if you look at some people who, and I think I said this before, if you look at people who are reaction channels, if they may not let's say they are a channel that has like 1,000 subscribers or whatever the case may be. A person with 1,000 subscribers is not getting views like that, and depending on what they watch. If they do a reaction to a well-known K-pop group, their views for that video will surpass how many subscribers they have probably within a day. Like if you are a reaction channel and you react to nothing but K-pop videos, your channel will blow up because they push them heavy. in the
Wow.
algorithm. And I do mean heavy. If you don't believe me, just go on YouTube and just type in K-pop reactions and just look at the views. You don't have to click on the video. You don't have to look at the reaction, but just look at the view counts. Those views are high. Like you have people that be who be having view counts of like 50,000 or more at the minimum on those K-pop reactions.
And you know what's crazy? They get our swag, our style of doing hair, our style of doing dance. Yet, if you try to make an anime or do anime art style drawings or do any type of art that's anime influenced, they go on alert.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why it's like we as a collective like really need to like fall back with like sharing our culture. And I'm speaking to the people that commented on the recent videos you shared praising the folks that are doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Because Dr. Claude Anderson talked about this so much, especially with the hair care. Is like we have a unique style of hair that no one else has, but we don't own the business. And it goes back to him saying us practicing group economics. I'm glad we're doing that a little bit more day by day, but it's like this stream here is just a culmination of what he said in Hidden Colors 2 and what he continues to say and the type of wisdom that we need to take heed to. Regardless of how you feel about the man personally, he drops heavy knowledge like decades, I dare say half a century ahead into the future.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing about Asia owes everything to Black Americans from what they're currently taking now to, I will dare say, the video game console. You would not have Nintendo if it weren't for a little invention called the Fairchild Channel F made by Gerald Lawson.
Mm.
You wouldn't even have Atari if the Fairchild Channel F wasn't made.
Exactly. And I learned, you know what's funny? I actually learned about him when I was in, I think, high school. I think I learned about him in high school.
You man, you had it better than me because I didn't find out about the guy until I finished seeing Hidden Colors 4, and I just went on to this Black Inventors website and his name popped up.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So yeah, we definitely need to keep an eye on that. And another thing, this microphone check documentary, I really hope Tariq does a part 2, not only covering the hip hop influence from Los Angeles, California, but also the Asian invasion of our culture. Because from what I gather from the trailer, it's going to pretty much talk about, you know, the hip hop influences from all over the country and how the Hispanics and the Tethers are trying to, like, you know, claim hip hop as if they started it, which they really haven't. It's a foundational Black American made thing. But I really hope the part 2 covers not only the hip hop influence from LA, but the Asians trying to take the thing over.
Right.
Hopefully,
that's why I'm doing this stream today, because that's why I put the thumbnail in there, another type of invasion, because again, it hit multiple parts. Sure, it started off with talking about the hair, but then it segues into more parts. Like I don't know how did you hear the whole thing? Was you here from the beginning?
Yes.
Okay. Did you heard? So you heard what the Black hairstylist was saying, like you know they want a particular style, you know, they get it and everything like that, but then it starts off with the style, but then all of a sudden it goes down and translates into the clothing. So now it's like, because it wasn't enough for them just to get their hair to look a certain way, they had to throw on the whole look to go along with it.
Right.
So the thing about us is that we can have our hair in a particular style and it'll go with any look that we have.
Yep. Even if it's receding, we'll still rock it with style. But yeah, thanks for raising the alarm on this and keeping the flares up for this. We definitely need to, like, you know, be on the lookout for stuff like that and continue supporting the new Black media like yourself, among others, on the come up as well.
Exactly.
All right.
Thanks for coming up.
No problem.
All right. Shout out to Joseph for coming up. Next up, we have Denise. What's going on?
Hey T, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Oh, I'm so sick of the misappropriation of our whole existence. I'm sick of it. But we, being the chosen people, we ain't going nowhere.
Exactly.
I'm ex-military. I did 2 tours in Korea. And one thing that I witnessed for myself was a lot of our black men, Korean women, married or coupled up, whatever. And if they had kids, I know for a fact in Korea, mixed race children from black men were rejected.
In a way, there kind of still are, and
Oh yes, I know that. I know that.
It's funny you say that because I'm not sure if you heard or remember, but there was a mixed race, biracial, like a black mixed with Japanese woman over there who was crowned like Miss Japan or something like that. I think that's where she was from. She got hit with so much hate, and not anti-Japanese hate, anti-black hate, because they was like, how dare they crown this mixed race woman who's half Japanese and half black the queen to represent our nation, and then go on to participate in like the Miss Universe or whatever pageant that is. And they actually have a name for them. Like, they have a specific name for people over there in Japan who are mixed specifically with black. I'm not going to say it on here, but if you look it up, it's a particular name, and it's very offensive. But yeah, I remember that when you said that, that's what came to mind.
I think of Kimora Lee.
Or Naomi Osaka.
Yes.
Or A. Marie is another one.
Yes.
Even though A. Marie definitely claims her black side, it's pretty obvious because when you listen to her music and everything like that, and she's from the DMV area, all her stuff is like go-go, like not all of it, but she kind of like mixed R&B and go-go. Of course, came out of DC. So she really hammered that home. She really had a decent, unique sound back in the early 2000s.
Exactly. This one thing. That's what she recorded. This one thing.
And you know J-Lo tried to steal that, right?
Yeah, whatever.
She literally tried to steal that song, and they said the story behind that is that when they found out they were trying to get that song, she had to her and her producer had to run down to the radio station and literally put the song out on the radio ahead of the time when the label was going to release the song, just to keep J-Lo's sticky hands off of it.
No surprise.
Mm-hmm.
No surprise. But I will say this one last thing before I jump off. FBA, listen up. No, without a doubt, we are the chosen people. Exactly. I'm landing my plane.
Appreciate you coming up.
Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to Denise for coming up. If anybody else would like to come up and speak, the link is right there in the chat. It's also pinned at the top. If y'all are listening like on X or Instagram and you want to come up, you're going to have to come on to YouTube to actually click the link and then come up. Because I know I saw somebody who wrote from X who said they wanted to come up, but I wouldn't dare post that StreamYard link onto my X account. There's just no way that's happening. So if y'all want to come up and y'all are on either Instagram or listening on Instagram or on X, just come on over to the YouTube channel, Tonya Rain Reloaded, and then you'll be able to click the link and come on up. And shout out to Javalt, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your name correctly, for subscribing to the channel. Okay, I'm seeing somebody right here in the queue, but it says their devices are not connected. When they get that straightened out, then I'll bring them up. Oh, Moochie, I agree with you wholeheartedly with the comment you just left. A. Marie should have been way bigger than what she was. Definitely. A lot of people were still in her style. Beyonce, too. I think Beyonce stole her whole producer. And you can hear it in some of her songs. But that damn J-Lo, my goodness. When I saw a video run down to the stuff that she took, her whole career was manufactured. Her whole singing career, anyway. Cassie said Hines Ward is an example. Yep, Hines Ward is another one. Former Steelers player. Naya said Ashanti is pissed for her Unreal. Well, exactly. And the thing is, Ashanti used to get a lot of flack back in the day, and it's like she got a lot of flack, but then y'all like some of the songs that J-Lo did, not even realizing that either Ashanti wrote the song or she did the backgrounds and sometimes the foreground vocals of said song. But I'm glad when all that got cleared up, Ashanti ended up getting her flowers. But unfortunately, by that time, it was in a position where Ashanti wasn't relevant, quote unquote, anymore. And shout out to Wallow J for the $4.99 super chat. He says people may not know agents are very. I'm guessing you're saying you're trying to say racist toward their own, like the dark skinned ones, such as the Filipino, the Thai. Oh, definitely. It's definitely a caste system for sure, much like down there in South America. But shout out to you for the $4.99 super chat. Sean Campbell said, "What about Tiger Woods? Oh, you mean Mr. Kablasian? When he says I'm not black, I'm Kablasian." Meanwhile, when he got arrested for that DUI for being for having too much cough syrup or whatever that was he was taking, what did it say under race? It didn't say C for Kablasian. It said B for black. What's going on, Star Child?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
I just wanted to say, talk about BTS. They, it's a whole video on YouTube that someone made a compilation of.
Mm-hmm.
They are very racist. They've done all kind of blackface, and we, as black people should have shut them down a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
I think you got your. I can hear an echo in the background.
Hold on, I'll just put it on pause. Yeah, so we need to stop them. It's got to be some kind of way that we can come together. We need to start being stronger and start voicing, our opinions and putting these people out of business.
You know what it is? Because I can honestly tell you, I couldn't name one K-pop group or song off the top of my head if somebody asked me, especially the songs. I know what they're doing. Those type of groups right there, they are catering to a very young audience. And when I say young, I'm talking about like teenagers and younger. Because they always say if you really want to get someone, you got to get them when they're impressionable. They're not going to get us because we pretty much already know what it is. So they're going to go after the younger crowd and get them there. That's really how they're doing it. So while we know we can call it out, but if they can get to your kids, or whether they're grade school, middle school, or collegiate level, then they're definitely going to do that.
Yeah, it was a BTS. Now they love our music. They said they copied everything from Boys to Men, New Edition, all the popular black groups and everything.
Mm-hmm.
They love copying us, but they hate us. There was two little girls at a BTS concert, I believe it was this past summer. And they had their hands out, for the little Asian guy to touch their hands. And he basically skipped over them and went right to the little white kids, behind them. And everybody was looking like, what?
I think I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Yep, skip right over them. Yeah, but it just infuriates me. I'm just leave it at that because I'm just so angry.
Yeah, I understand. Like I said, I couldn't name one K-pop song. I could not do it. And when I be seeing or looking at people do reaction videos to certain things, it said I want to look at them react to a particular artist. It's like they throw a K-pop cover in my face. I'm like, I didn't ask for a cover. I asked for a particular artist that was not them. If I wanted to look up a K-pop artist, then that's what I would have typed in.
Right. They got K-pop, they got J-pop, they got it all. It's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna let you go and let someone else get in here.
All right. Appreciate you coming up.
All right, thank you.
Shout out to Star Child for coming up. And Miss Renee, I saw you was down there in the queue and you had fell back off. If you click the link again and come back up, then I'll let you come on. Tracy, you make a good point. Let me highlight Tracy's comment right quick. She said Tracy said BTS came to America to add to the hate crime bill. They sure did. If y'all remember when they were doing like the anti-Asian hate crime bill or whatever it was, they went to the White House or wherever they went, and they had them standing there like that, like they basically, in my opinion, were being props up there to try to like get something signed. I'm like, why did you call a K-pop group in order to do this? What would they know? They not even from here. But okay, I suppose. What's going on, Miss Renee? Your mic is muted.
Hello.
I can hear you.
Great. How are you today?
I am doing great.
That's good. Good to hear. I was just wanting to make a comment. I really do believe sometimes, and I've never done this myself, but I think that sometimes our people kind of almost, some of them, not all, give them the green light, like the thumbs up, like, oh, it's okay. Mm-hmm. And I think they get so comfortable with that.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that really, really irritates me about the whole scenario.
And I think where that comes from is because for so long, Black people as a collective, even before you and I and anyone else in this chat were born, we were always told that our culture was degenerate. It was always negative, and no one would gravitate towards it. Like, they called it all this, that, and the third. It was never something that was put out there. And if it was put out there, it was only in bits and pieces. It wasn't like put in heavy rotation or in droves. It wasn't like an avalanche. And the moment that certain people outside of our community started to listen to it or started to gravitate towards it, then a lot of people saw that as a thing of like a badge of honor. Like, oh my God, they're finally acknowledging us. Okay, it's fine. You got to acknowledge people are listening to it, but it should not have gone further than that. It got to the point where you started to open the door and just started to let them come on in. And then that's how you take over. Yes. And that was, and that was the plan the whole time, because they knew in the back of their mind, they've never had anything, we never given them anything. Let's give them a little bit of something, but let's also control it at the same time. And also tell them, well, you know what? If you let them do this and let them do that, it'll make this and this better. As if what we were doing in the origin stage was not good enough at all. And then that's how you kind of open the door to when integration started to come in and all this other stuff. It's a snowball effect.
Yeah, and that's the bad part about it, because I've seen too much of, on the other hand, it's supposed to be praised or, oh, that's so great they're imitating us, but I feel the opposite. I think instead of imitation be a form of flattery, it's a form of insanity, because how can you, quote, pretend to love I guess the culture or love our people, which I know they don't, because whenever I go, I don't feel very comfortable if I go to like the hair shop. So why did that you guys are acting, it's almost like an oxymoron, meaning that they're kind of like, oh, we love this about you, and they're lying. Because anytime I can look at things, I think like 5, maybe 7 years ago, there was a story out of New York where this lady and her daughter went into a nail shop, and they literally beat her and her daughter out of the nail shop.
Yeah.
Is that love?
Yeah, I remember that. Was that the same one? Was that the same one where they would when they threw the nail what was it, the nail remover, the nail polish remover? Was that the same one?
It may have been.
Yeah,
I'm
because I
not
remember.
really
Remember, it
sure.
was one where they was
Yeah.
spraying. It was one where they was spraying the nail,
Yes.
the nail remover. And
Yes.
keep in mind, y'all, that nail remover,
It has
that's nothing. That's not.
chemicals.
That's alcohol based. So
Yes.
that gets in your eyes. Like
Yes.
you have to probably go to the emergency room.
Exactly. And I think that's the sad part about it. And you know the other sad part about it after I actually witnessed that, what's her name? The little, oh my goodness, I forgot her name. She's married to the basketball player. She invited them in and she said, "Hey guys, I'll give you I have a nail shop. I'll give you a whole year free from my gosh, what is her name? Is her name Tiana? She's a little she's a
Oh, Tiana Taylor?
Tiana. Yes, Tiana
Okay.
Taylor. She gave those ladies, I thought was so sweet of her. She gave these ladies a whole year, and I think she had a nail shop herself.
Mhm.
And I felt so bad for them at first, but then I started looking at them and how they were reacting to Tiana giving them a whole year of I guess coming into her shop for free. You know, that she
Mhm.
felt bad for them. But the way they responded to Tiana, were like, you're not seeming all that grateful. And this is your people. Meaning that you don't seem the appreciation from your own people that you didn't get from these Asian people in their nail shop. You know,
Yeah.
and I think it goes both ways. Our people need to start, number one, supporting each other. Number two, you know, if somebody offers you something, show some gratitude. Because
Exactly.
I'm about supporting Black businesses. I wish we had more.
Yeah.
And so
It's
that's
funny.
why.
It's interesting that you mentioned that because there was it's actually two stories I'm gonna mention to you. There was one Black woman, I forgot what state she was in, but it was like in the, I guess you can say like the upper Midwest somewhere, something like that. I forgot what state it was. She was trying to open up a hair shop, like a wig shop or a hair shop or anything like that. And we know that the Asian community, they have a monopoly on that, especially if you in a Black enclave. And they didn't allow her to open up a shop because they said it was one too close within the proximity in which she was going to open up her shop. She said, okay, fine. So what she decided to do is she packed up her stuff. She flew over to Japan and opened up her shop there. And she got so much business from them over there. She said, you want to set up shop where I'm at? Well, I'm gonna go onto your terrain and I'm gonna set up shop there. And business has been booming. That's one story. Another story is it was a Black man down south. And I think I talked about him a couple years ago. This was pre-pandemic. He opened up a hair shop, and on the first day, this man damn near turned a profit because Black women came in droves to support this man's shop. Like, it was so many people out there. It was literally a line wrapped around the building to get into his store. Like, it got to the point where I think they ended up having to close the shop early because they were running out of supplies. So like literally I don't know how the shop has been since then, but I remember on their grand opening, it was a big deal. They made it to the news and everything like that. That's how intense it was. So there are some out there. If you just got to look, because it's not like, you know, a lot of those businesses don't get the proper advertising, but thanks to social media, you know, you find out where they are. They most likely gonna have an Instagram. They probably gonna have a Twitter. They, you know, all of that good stuff. Just go in there and help to promote it. Because at the same time, it's one thing that we can go in there and support it, but also let people be aware that hey, there are these Black-owned shops that are there that can cater to your needs. Just direct people into the location, and you'll be amazed at what you can find.
Right, and I do agree with that. And I'm going to say one last thing too. I've been always very adamant about supporting Black businesses. The other thing is that I think that if we can do that in itself, that would solve the majority of all our problems. Because we're going to have to start reinvesting, putting back into us first, and stop loaning out our culture. Our culture is not something to play with. It should be ours, and we should learn how to gatekeep it properly. And I think I'm tired of the younger generation doing that, because I get infuriated, because I'm saying, as a parent, I did my job. I taught who I needed to teach, which is my children. And for the people in their age group, to be letting me down now by saying, hey, my culture is not even worth it. I don't value it. So I'm going to give it to you on a platter.
Right.
That's irritating. So that's exactly what's happening right now, because it's almost like they're giving away the things that shouldn't be given away, because these are the same people that if you put on, like I said, if you put on a kimono, they would have a fit. Or if you do anything that's taking away, or they think it's taken away from them, they're going to definitely, let you know. So we need to do a better job of gatekeeping for sure. And that's all I wanted to say and leave it at that. But
and thank you for coming up.
Thank you.
Right. And before I bring up the next person, it was a comment. Faith said, how is Black Dragon doing? It's been a while since I've been to Black Dragon, but I remember when I went and they had their pop-up, it was literally right in the height of the pandemic. I think it was back in 2020. When I tell you, during a pandemic, Black people went out and supported that spot. It got to the point where lines started to form. They were backed up. I got my food. It took me about a good hour to get it, but I waited, and that food was delicious. But Black Dragon is actually still around. It's still around like 3 years later. It's still, I think they're more structured better now, because that was like their pop-up, and that was the first one they had, and it was during the pandemic. So, but it worked. They did good business that day regardless. But yeah, they're doing well. As a matter of fact, I need to, well, probably not right now, because I'm trying to make sure I get everything right for my trip next year. So eating something like that will throw me off, but I'm definitely going to keep them in my back pocket, going next year. Next, we're going to bring up Moochie. What's going on, Moochie?
Hey, what's up, Timian? I was talking, you know, they messed up hip hop, right?
Yeah.
They messed up hip hop once. You know who got involved.
Mm-hmm.
And now they gave it to the gangbangers, and now they're gonna revamp it and bring everybody into the culture like how it is now.
Yeah.
And then they took down our so-called, they're taking down our so-called pioneers of the game.
Yeah.
All of that. And we're part of, and we helped them with this. Not knowing it.
Exactly.
We helped them with it, not knowing it. And we do this every time.
Unfortunately.
We do this every time. We let them destroy they destroyed our music. Rapping was they messed up the rap game from the beginning, because all we used to do was brag about our clothes and stuff that we wanted and act like that. Am I right or wrong?
You right.
So it's just like now they already did it with they did it with R&B. You see, they switched it to country now, and that's like the mainstream thing. And now it's more Black artists going to do country music. They just put that country little twang in the background and made it country, and it's really R&B.
Yeah.
So,
and the crazy part about it is, we started all those genres.
Exactly.
So it's like literally we're fighting to get back into the genres that we created.
Every genre that we created, they jack it from us, and then they act like we never was a part of it.
Remember when
it's gonna keep happening.
Remember when that year, I forgot what awards it is. The country has so many damn award shows, but it was like that before. Yeah, it was that one where it was where Beyonce and the Dixie Chicks had performed. You had some people getting irate about it because she was up there and she was singing that song, and I'm sitting there saying to myself, like, you do realize if you look at the ratings went through the roof in that whole segment that she was on there, and the minute they were done, they dropped all the way back down. I'm like, y'all should be very appreciative. And I'm like, that's a genre that Black people created. And I think they were mad because of two reasons. One, it was Beyonce, and two was the Dixie Chicks. You know, they pretty much got blackballed out of the country after what they said about George Bush years ago, but that's another story. But then they had another country award show years later, and they had Anthony Mackie and Monica like present an award or something like that. And you had people who got upset just seeing them go up there to present an award. They weren't performing. Just them being there had them mad.
Yup, like we don't belong there, and we're the originators. We're the originators of everything. Everybody needs to understand how powerful our people are, but we don't stick together. And they try to make it like that. If we stick together, do you know how powerful we will all be?
Oh, we will be unstoppable.
We'll be
Invincible.
unstoppable. We are the originators, the creators, all of that. But people are still in the dark with stuff. That's why I try to stick to the light stuff, because people can't handle it sometimes.
Right, exactly.
People can't handle it because we are our own worst enemy. That's all I wanted to say. I gotta go take my father shopping, but I think I'll jump on here real quick.
All right, shout out to you for coming up.
I see you, and I like what you're doing.
All right, appreciate you coming up.
All right, one.
Shout out to Moochie for coming up, and I'm gonna bring up this one last person, and we're gonna get up out of here. Cassandra, what's going on?
What's up, Torian? How are you?
What's up? What's going on?
Listen, I like your content. I like what you're doing. I like how you're growing. You really do. I don't know if you know me, but I've been following you for a while. I followed you when, you had just a few, and now I'm following you when you getting on up with the many.
I'm glad you're still here.
Yeah. Listen, you have to remember, Torian, what the messenger said. He said that our unity will be as an atomic bomb. See, once we come together, it's not going to be just like the sister just said. It's not going to be it's nothing they're going to be able to do with us. So we don't need them. Everybody need us.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad you said that. Think about how a lot of these individuals from the Sombrerito community got mad because we're not speaking up about what's going on over there. You had Juliana Margulies and Michael Rappaport, as many of y'all like to call him, getting upset and coming at black people because we're not saying anything, and they're basically saying, how dare you not say anything? You're this and you're anti this and anti that. And we just like, okay, whatever. I mean, you're going to continue to be mad, but I mean, our blood pressure ain't going up. You're the one that's getting mad, veins popping out of you like you about to go Super Saiyan, whatever. Because we not giving you any attention, and that's really all it boils down to. And I'm like, why do you have to bring us into whatever conflict you have going on? I bet y'all ain't gonna go over there and put no boots on the ground.
Yeah. I mean, for whatever
when we stay
reason.
to ourselves, I didn't mean to cut you off, but when we listen to the people in the chat, understand this: when we stay to ourselves and we mind our black ass business, they will be upset because they have to find a way to rope us into everything that's going on with them. And it's like, what benefit are we going to get out of it? All we ask is for two things: reparations, tangibles, and an anti-black hate crime bill. That's just two things at the top of the list. It's a longer list, but those are the two top things that we demand. That is all. They can't even do that, but they have everything for everybody else laid out. I don't know if you saw it, but in New York, they starting now to try to do, because it's an election season. They up there trying to start up a whole nother talk about reparations. I said, I was like, okay, I didn't even get excited for it, and good thing I didn't, because I looked into it more. They got Al Sharpton. I was like, oh God, they got Al Sharpton up there. I said, already it's a red flag. And he was there with Kathy Hochul, the governor, and it's nothing talking about no reparations, talking about another study. I said, we don't need another study. How many studies can you do? Meanwhile, other groups, they just throwing money to them hand over fist.
Yeah. But you know what? The thing of it is, as long as we keep coming together like we're coming and we're stopping them like they're doing in Chicago. Chicago, the brothers and sisters got together, stopped them from taking that building, stopped them from setting
Oh yeah, they on Brandon Johnson's head.
Oh yeah.
As they should be.
Yeah, they own him, and then they call themselves having a little victory lap, talking about how they stopped the what was that they stopped for being put on the ballot to be voted on, and they had a little victory lap about that, and they talking about black and brown. But see, it's not the black American that they're talking about. They're talking about those black immigrants. They're not doing anything that's going to benefit us. So we got to make sure that we are not fooled as black Americans to think that they're talking about us, because they're not talking about this black. They talking about them foreign blacks.
Yeah. And here's the real test next year. This is going to be the real test next year of how this election turns out. In November, that is going to be the defining test for Black Americans next year to determine what type of time we are on, to see if we are all on the same page, if we can all be on code. That's going to be a huge moment. If that can go down the way that I want it to, and the way that I know it can, if Black people can get it together, then it's going to be great. Think about what happened in August the 5th.
Mm-hmm.
What a moment that was.
Oh, refresh my memory. August 5th, what happened?
Down in Alabama at the dock.
Oh
Yeah. Listen. That's literally in the top 5 moments of the year. Like we can't forget that. That's gotta be ingrained in our head. Like we already established that as our own personal holiday. So,
I know, right?
So
yeah,
like
you right.
So we can't forget that. But that was a moment right there where you had a small few. And that's the thing. It doesn't take much, just a small few. It wasn't that many. I don't think it was even. I don't even think it was 20 people, 20 Black people out there.
Mm-hmm.
It only takes a small few to affect the majority, because that moment right there had the world talking.
Right. But you know what, Torian? And I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna let you go. But the one thing that we have to come to realize, like I said before, is that everybody needs us. If we are coming into knowledge that we are God's people and God is telling us to come out of her, well, if we know that we're the people that he's talking to, we need to get back to doing what we've always done. Have our own basketball team, have our own baseball team, have our own football team, our own communities, because everybody eats off of us. If we separate, they not gonna eat. They eating because we still plugged in. We still like going to their movies and their restaurants. I don't, but a lot of people I know do. They still like to go and hang out. I don't give a damn. We gotta come out. We gotta start doing our own things. We gotta have our own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way everybody gonna stop eating. They can only give those immigrants money, our money, because we keep pumping money into the system. That's our money that they giving away like that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Whether it's here or overseas. Like, for example, how much money, and this is my nickname for him, Zelensky. I call him the welfare emperor of the world. How much money over the last year has the Ukraine received? More, not even the Ukraine, him, because I truly believe he's pocketing that money or putting it somewhere where it don't need to be. How much money has been given to him over the years? Every time Zelensky's name comes up in the news, I already know why. And it's always this headline: Zelensky's about to go meet with President Biden. I said, I know why. I know why. I literally posted that up on my Twitter account a couple weeks ago. I said, oh, Zelensky about to go meet with Biden again? And I said, gee, I wonder why. And I put a $sign emoji behind it. And sure enough, when I saw the headline again, they mentioned the word finances.
It's finances when they do it, but it's begging when we do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but once we get these foreigners, these Black foreigners that's cosplaying us, once we get them up out of our business and out of our area, then we can move better. But we got too many of them, like those aldermen that are up there in Chicago.
Oh, yes. And I have a video coming up about that.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of them tether aldermen that are standing up in our way, that's backstabbing us in the back.
Yes, it's a lot of them. I saw it on X. Someone had put a thread up and put up all the aldermen's.
Yeah,
it was of every ward, their name, their picture, and everything. And the thing is, when I started scrolling, I didn't think I was going to stop, because it was that many. And for those of y'all who are unaware what we're talking about with these aldermen in Chicago, they basically voted down to get rid of Chicago being a sanctuary city. So basically, those aldermen that we're talking about in Chicago, they voted to keep Chicago a sanctuary city, which means they're going to continue to allow these south of the bordarians, as I like to call them, to continue to come there and literally
and
nest.
spend up black people's tax money. That's what they're doing. And then they'll turn around and tell you, oh, what's wrong with you? I came over here with nothing, but look at me. I have a house and a car and a job in a yard with 5 children. Yeah, off of my money. Hell, you didn't come over here and pull yourself up by your bootstraps and get that shit. I'm sorry.
You good. You good. Honestly, hey, listen. I told people this was going. I told you this was the stream right here that I was ready. I couldn't wait to do because I knew a lot of people were going to be very passionate about the topic.
Yeah, very passionate about it because these people are over here. But what all we got to do is make up our mind. Once our mind is made up that we gonna pull out, everything is gonna fall. See, we still giving it life. These people wouldn't have no money to get if we wasn't putting the money in. We got to stop doing that. We got to build our own schools, our own grocery stores. We got to plant our own gardens and farms and stuff. We got to stop dealing with these people. They coming over here eating off of us. If it wasn't for us, they wouldn't eat. And then another thing too, you was talking about the K-pop. I was listening to K-pop before they even found out over here about the K-pop groups. I enjoyed them. I did enjoy their music, but I've weaned off of them for the simple fact is that they haven't evolved their sound. It still sounds the same like it sounded when I first started listening to it. So if now that hip hop has slowed up over here, the sales and whatever, and black people are trying, we looking to try to see how we gonna go and get these tethers from around us. They can only go back to how they started. They haven't evolved because it doesn't belong to them. It belongs to us.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I did. I mean, I'm not gonna lie and tell people that I didn't like K-pop and that I didn't listen to K-pop. I mean, I knew the groups and I know the songs because I really did enjoy listening to them. But I knew that they was biting off of us. I mean, it was kind of, I'm not gonna say funny, but I just enjoyed seeing them try to act like us. I really did. I mean, I know that it's ours. I mean, I'm not stupid, but just like I said, I weaned off because they haven't evolved it.
Exactly.
Yeah, they haven't evolved. But thank you for bringing me up, having me on. It's always a pleasure. And look for my my tweets on X.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for coming up. All right.
Uh-huh.
All right. I'm gonna bring this one last person up. JW. This is the last person, y'all. What's going on?
Yo, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yo, what up, Timmy? How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Salute to the Foundation of Black American Family. I'm an outsider. Half Jamaican, half Black American.
Okay.
And just thinking this whole situation with the Asians taking the copying. We all knew they were gonna do that. If white people was gonna do it, of course the Asians gonna do it. Mm-hmm. And one thing I've noticed, white people is trying to make Asian women the beauty standard of Western culture because they've been going to K-pop. They've been promoting a lot of K-pop, female K-pop bands, and like the last caller Cassandra said, it's pretty much the same generic shit. My brother went to a K-pop. My brother was in the army. He retired. He went to a K-pop festival in Singapore because when you go to Singapore, them K-pop festivals be popping over there. They have to have a festival every year, and all the K-pop bands be going over there. It's like 20 to 25 bands doing the same BS dances, and and now they're promoting all these females here in America, and it's the same shit.
And they don't, and I know what you're talking about, because don't they be sounding like, some of them be over there sounding like Sexy Red and Megan Thee Stallion and all of them, but they never get the title of being ratchet or promoting ratchet culture. I want people to understand that they don't get the negative title behind it, and they get gravitated towards more because of the sound, because of their look, because of their image.
Yep, they want Asian women to be more attractive than black women, which it's never gonna happen. Why do you think they want to have this? Trust and believe it. I know it's messed up to say, But the industry is going to have another Sexy Red / Cardi B / Megan Thee Stallion, whatever, coming up after Sexy Red. Because people are already getting tired of her right now. So they already got somebody else planned. It's unfortunate, but it's the truth. Now, on the flip side, you have these female K-pop artists doing the same thing and not getting no flag out of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's no coincidence that you have. One thing I've noticed, I know it's kind of a reach, but there's a lot of black men that's consider themselves dating out to Asian women. Do you agree with that to a certain degree?
Did you see the stream did you watch the stream from the beginning? When did you come in?
I was busy. I was back and forth. I was doing something. But so can you,
I was talking about when one of the parts I was talking about in the stream was this Asian woman who called herself speaking with the black accent and pretending like she was from like somewhere else. But then I showed another video where I believe she's talking with her own accent. And how it was a lot of black men that was propping her up because she looked attractive and because she spoke to someone. I said, so you will accept her talking like that, even though I do not believe that is her actual tone of voice.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But if a black woman did it, then she's ghetto. She's
a
ratchet, and all. It's a turn off.
That's what's really messed up. That most of these black men have moms. Like my mom acts like that, so I know all these brothers' moms. These coon ass niggas' moms act like that to a certain degree. So they can't even front about that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of which, you have Aquafina, who obviously is going to stand on business, as T.I.'s son King said, on keeping the black scent. Knowing damn well she's a trash ass rapper, she's a trash ass comedian, and she's pretty much the Asian version of Tiffany Haddish.
And I don't know I don't know if you've seen her like now, but notice you don't really see her doing the over the top stuff like she used to, because now she's more mainstream. So they probably told her to tone it down.
Yeah, they told her to tone it down because she got that money. She signed a 3-year. She got like 10 movies coming up, so she has to be versatile. But she's trash though. Like her latest movie was Quiz Game with the other actress from Grey's Anatomy. I think her name is Sandra something. That movie was trash. Yeah, that movie was trash, Doreen. Like, come on, man. And what's the important? Speaking back to K-pop, they are gatekeeping K-pop. Everybody knows that pop music comes from is Black American music. Okay?
Yeah.
It's Black American music. And they try to gatekeep something that's been a merry-go-round since 1981. Like, nah, man. That's why it's so important for Black people to stop patronizing their stores. But let's keep it real. The only relationship that Black people, particularly Black Americans and Asian people, have is an economical relationship. Only the worst thing is that we, as Asians, get rich, Black people get poor. Their household media income is increasing up. They're going to be the highest household media income before 2025. That's bad, sir. That's crazy. But again, it's important for Black Americans to gatekeep their culture. You see that what's going on around outside the diaspora, right, brother? It's an ongoing offensive. You have white people, you have the African diaspora, you have the Hispanics, the Arabs. They coming at you guys heavy. I'm like, damn. That's why it's very important to delineate. Stay the course, my brother. All my foundation Black American brothers and sisters, stay the course. Don't let them shame you into doing something that they won't ride for you.
Exactly.
So again, thank you for keeping me up here, man. I appreciate it. Stay black, brother.
No problem. I know I said I was done, but then this one other one came in and they sent a message and said they got smoked. So I'm curious to see what they got to say. But I already unpinned the link so no one else can come on in. What's going on? Scam likely. What's going on?
What's going on? Sounds like the usual. Oh, it's the system. All the immigrants is getting us. All the white stand, the white man, the black man. Same thing. Let me guess, 20 minutes later, it's going to be the men's versus the women's. All the women's, all the men's is. When is it going to stop? And when can people just look in the mirror and say, hey, I want to do better and take care of the same problems that have been the same problems that's going to be the same problems? I'm just saying. Then it's FBAs, FDAs, and the real black original man, bliggity black. When does it end?
It ends right there. Thanks everybody for coming through to the stream. Shout out to everybody that came through. Shout out to all the ladies that came up and supported the panel today. It was a lot of ladies that came up today. Shout out to y'all. Y'all definitely let your voices be heard. Shout out to all the men as well, except for the last one that just came up. Also, shout out to those who contributed to the chat. To the super chat. Jerry Bedford, CK Mystic, the fundraiser, and Wallow J. I greatly appreciate it. So this was quite a stream. Shout out to everybody who watched over on Instagram and on X. This was my first time doing the multi-stream in a very long time on X, and the first time I'm doing it on Instagram. We will be back on here tomorrow at 11 a.m. There's no live stream tomorrow. Be sure to tune into that. And with that being said, y'all enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Be safe and be one.